I figure it's about time to do another update. I've been working for a couple hours. I got the subframe totally back on, steering rack, lines plugged in, everything's bolted down and real nice. We got the side members on. I have a couple things that I need to see if they go back on or not with the subframe cut. I just gotta check that out and see. But I hit my first real hurdle here. And it seems that the steering linkage shit. Let's see if I can get it good. You know, these headers are in the way. Now, I assume if I kept my original headers, it wouldn't have been a problem, but since I have the ISR shorty headers, I guess they poke out more or something. I really don't know, but yep. I mean, I'm about to just dent it in to make it clear, because I'm not taking all this shit back off just to put the original headers back on after I spent, what was it, like $800 or something for these, plus another $300 to get them powder coated? Hell no. No, I'm just gonna dent the fuckers. Screw it. Okay, we're starting to get somewhere. I've been beating on the that edge of the headers to try and get it to you know, be out of the way. So I need to just take this all out again. I say take it all out, I mean like undo this, lower the steering rack a little bit, and then bang on it with a hammer. I got the red marks to show. It's about a 1/2 inch area that just needs to be hammered in. I excessively did that top part without really knowing what I was doing or what needed to be shaved away. So I'll do that, and then because I mean, it can almost make a full turn. It gets, you know, a little bit of the way, and then the edge of that thing starts to hit. So we'll get to the point where it can turn, and then we'll put one of the bolts on it and see where that hits, because I'm sure that's going to hit, and see what else. I mean, it's looking like this whole kind of edge is going to need to be banged in and flattened, so then the bolt can have clearance spinning around. And you know, there's always going to be the problem of the movement whenever I'm actually driving. Which I mean, these are better than the OEM motor mounts, but I mean, it going up and down, this could come down and start hitting the steering linkage stuff, and yeah, it's a bunch of bullshit. Fuck. Okay, let me show you what we got going on here. I spent all last night pretty much. Well, I messed with the motor mounts. I can't remember what I said in the last update, but I messed with the motor mounts and I got more clearance out of them. I think it's like 0.375, something like that. That didn't really help too much, so I went back to beating on the headers, trying to bend them and create clearance. And then I thought, you know what if I just messed with the knuckle and shaved that amount out of the way and then weld it. So I started on that this morning. I realized that I can probably just do what I did here, which was shave it enough to where the bolt will still go in. I've also taken the bolt and cut, you know, like more than half the threads off of it, and then also kind of shave down the head. So whenever it's on there, it pretty much does not touch at all. Now, whenever I'm actually driving and drifting and it's moving around, no idea. But I'm pretty sure the engine, whenever, you know, you rev and shit, it's lifting up on this side and pushing down on this side. So it should be getting away from the steering knuckle instead of pushing down on it. But I mean, still, you know, bumpiness and all this sort of thing. Good thing is I put the new motor mounts, which are stiffer than the OEM ones, so that should help as well. But I mean, we're literally just gonna have to put it on there and try it. If it starts hitting again, not again, but if it starts hitting, when I'm actually driving and it's messing up, you know, me steering, then, I mean, we'll just take this, we'll cut it flat with this part right here, and then put it up there and just weld it, or maybe drill a hole into here and drill a hole right in the middle of here and wait till it lines up and then put a pin through it or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out, but it's a lot more work. So we're just gonna work with this idea right now and see what it does. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this on, put Loctite on the threads, and put the rest of the car back together. And then put it on the ground, go drive around a little bit, see what it does, and then if it's good, then I'll get working on taking the upper part of the engine off and getting those two upper and lower manifolds and porting those, and then that would be it. Plus, you know, alignment and all that crap, but, you know, details. It's probably been a minute since an update. The car is almost at a point where I can put it on the ground and start doing an alignment. I think the last time I updated was when I was doing the steering knuckle stuff. So, I mean, that's all doing good. I hooked up the entire suspension. Got this all on there, which will be nice. Then I have crap trying to go into the steering rack. I was messing with this because I was rubbing on this line last event, and I think I got it where it's gonna touch. I have to put a wheel on and turn it now that the steering's hooked up and everything, and see if it's gonna hit or not. If it does hit, I don't really know. I don't know what else to do. I'll have to look into different brake line options, because I don't know, it's just not working correctly with the FDF kit. This is the GK Tech extended lines. So tomorrow, the plan is do an alignment, get it on the ground, hook the rest of the cold air intake back up because I don't have the actual top part up in there, fire it up, maybe drive up and down the street a couple times, do a little donut, see if I can feel the steering touching, you know, the steering knuckle touch the header at all. And then I'll put it back on the lift. I'll look to see if it's touched it. I'll be able to see like wear marks on it because I repainted it. And if that's good, then we'll start taking the top of the engine off to get to the upper and lower manifold and port that. And then we're ready. She's pretty much all the way back together. I got the cold air intake long tubes figured out. I don't know if they changed the design with newer Zs, but since mine's a 2009, this whole wiring loom thing was like sitting right here. And so I had to take this thing was right there. I had to take that off and pull it to the side and zip tie it in two different places to make enough room to get this up in there. But yeah, she's together. I think I'm ready to test it out. I got to take the little alignment thing out of the steering rack so I can actually turn to the left. I ordered fluid, power steering fluid, and it comes in the next couple of days. So I'm gonna start it up, and if this ends up disappearing out of this tank, then I probably won't do anything, which sucks because I really wanted to drive it for just a minute, just to see how it feels. But we can do that a different day if ends up using all that fluid. I really just kind of want to start it up and see how it sounds because, you know, I've done so much to the exhaust and all that shit and got rid of the cats, and I'm just excited to hear how it sounds. So I'm gonna do all that. I mostly got the alignment done, kind of, not really. I changed the ride height because there was like a ½ inch difference between the two sides right here, which, I don't know how that happened. So I raised this side up because I'm not lowering it until I figure out my whole front wheel situation with the full angle kit rubbing and all that. And then I was checking the stuff on the rears, the ride height on the rears. Those are off by like maybe 1/4 inch. But whenever I took this off, I saw that the brake line was rubbing. So I went ahead and took all the stuff out of here, got to the brake lines and pulled it back and zip tied it off and made it to where it's not gonna rub anymore. So I'm glad I caught that, because that probably would have ended up popping or leaking or whatever during the next event. I can't believe I didn't do it whenever the driver's side started rubbing. I don't know why I didn't do both, but I didn't. But now it's done, so it doesn't matter. I'm gonna, God, I guess I'm gonna clean some of this up and make it to where I can get out, and we'll see. We'll see how she goes. Not entirely sure that's supposed to be happening, nor what could cause it, so investigation time. Okay, I talked to my buddies, and they think it's probably because I put a new intake on that's, 3 inches, so it's like way bigger than the stock. So I'm going to pull the MAF sensors, and if it idles smooth, then that's the only thing that's wrong with it. Which in that case, I'll have to take the aftermarket ones off and put the OEM back on, just so that I can get the car onto a trailer and get it tuned. And I'll just have to put the cold air intakes onto it, whenever I got it on the dyno. So, let's see if it works. It seems like that was the issue. Yeah, it's just running lean. It's just running lean because of the new air intakes. So I guess that solves that issue. Thank God. Now it's Sunday, which means I have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. 4 days to do whatever I need to do to get that car ready to get tuned. So all that's left is to do the upper and lower manifolds. So I guess, it's already 7 o'clock on a Sunday, so I think I'm going to start that tomorrow night. Maybe do some research tonight and see how long it's going to take, because I don't want to do it if it's going to be, if I'm going to be spending every single second of the next 4 nights trying to get it done. If I can do it in 2 nights, then great. That works. But we're going to try and get it done. Okay, not many days left. Tonight I'm working on getting this baby torn apart. Got the upper manifolds. Now I just got to do some stuff and get to the lower manifold, and then I can port these two and then put them back on the car, and that's another probably somewhere around 10 horsepower, 8 to 10 horsepower once the car gets tuned Friday. I need to have this off the car tonight pretty much, because tonight's Monday, and then let's say it takes an entire night to port. Yeah, so port it Tuesday, put it back together Wednesday, and then Thursday can kind of be like a getting everything together, put it on the trailer kind of day, because I don't know what time I'm supposed to be over at TDC, so yeah, we're gonna get it done. Should be fun. Okay, we got them out. We got the upper and the lower manifolds out of the car. It really wasn't hard. The hardest part was the fuel rails connected to the injectors. The injectors didn't want to come out of this. I'm going to have to mess with it tomorrow and see if I can get them to come out, because they need to not be there when I'm polishing and porting the inside. But yeah, only one actually wanted to come out. So that was kind of stupid. I was literally had like one foot right here and another foot right here, and I was hunched over and had both my arms grabbing each side of the fuel rail, and I was pulling up trying to get it out, and it wasn't happening. So I undid the little clip that goes right here, that goes right there and latches on to the fuel rail, and literally no effort, it came out. You know, that one stayed with the fuel rail for whatever reason. I don't really care. So yeah, that's done. So that means tomorrow I can full focus on porting and polishing and making sure that lines up right and is good, and yeah. And then Wednesday I put it back together, and that gives me a full Thursday night to figure out other shit. So making sure it's all ready to go, and then we get a tune, and then she's done, and then she's done. I can't wait. I really want to rev the shit out of it. I want to know how this car is going to sound. Out of the little tiny revving I did yesterday, trying to figure out if the car was messed up, it sounds bad. It sounds real bad, in a good way. Like, she has the same, like, lower tone that she's had the entire time, but, like, once I started getting up in the RPMs, which, I mean, this car doesn't even let you go past 5,000 when you're just sitting there. It kind of, like, it opens up. So I think when I'm drifting, she's going to be loud, which is what I want. I don't want her to be too loud, and I got the muffler still on it, so I'm excited. Okay, I didn't do any updates about this, but I have got the lower and upper manifolds totally ported and polished. They are ready to go. They line up really good with no huge lips up in there, and I got all the imperfections and everything out of them and the mold lines, so they're ready. So now's the fun part of putting it all back together, which shouldn't be too hard. It's Wednesday night, almost the end of the night. So I'm going to start putting all this back on. I got new gaskets and everything. And then I'll finish doing it tomorrow and then begin loading up the trailer, because I have to be over at TDC Performance at 9 a.m. And guess what? That's a 2-hour drive. So, fun. But yeah, I'm going to get this all back together, and I'm going to put the original air intakes on, so then I can get it onto the trailer, and I'll just bring the long tubes with me and switch them out before he does all of his tuning and dyno and all that stuff. So, should be fun.